All right, welcome back to Denoise. We're going to do our Friday weekly roundup of all the new AI stories for film production.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah, it wasn't at first. I was like, I don't know. There wasn't anything like big, groundbreaking this week. But as I was going through the links, I was like, actually, there was like quite a bit of interesting stuff and some new stuff under the radar that I think we'll point out that might be big in a few weeks.
AI is leveling up incrementally every week, and we're covering it. It's a lot of fun.
I think it was a comment where it's just like, even like last week, it was just like, GPT-5, like not that big or something.
Somebody had AI fatigue.
Something like
comments.
that. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's like, and it's funny because it's like we're so used to so many new stories where it's like any one of these stories a year ago would have been like, whoa, groundbreaking, new news, and now we just keep getting all these crazy updates. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, if you think about like all the VC money and investor money, it's all funneled into this. And so there's people working on this constantly.
All right. First one, Nano Banana.
I almost spat out my coffee.
All right. So I've been seeing Nano Banana pop up a little bit on X, and I was like, what is this? So this is a new image model that appeared on LM Arena, which is the main website where companies upload their new models and they get tested and ranked. And that's where the ranking stuff, when it's like this model ranked, blah, 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 on this thing, that's from LM Arena.
It reminds me of the Coliseum. It's like an actual arena.
Are you not entertained? Yes. Are you not generating? So there's a new model that showed up called Nano Banana. And a lot of people think this is a new model from Google. So it's not confirmed yet that it's from Google, but it seems most likely this is a new Google model to either a separate model or something to replace Imagen, their current model. Mm-hmm. And the examples that I've seen are very good world understanding and very realistic. Yeah,
looking at this one, that's
where it's like an input was a side shot of a woman, and then it says, hey, have her look at camera, and it looks like, everything about the person's face, I don't know what she really looks like, but it looks like an accurate rendition of like what this person would look like.
Yeah, the fact that you could do this prompt based with just text and not actually like, put a spline or anything else in the image, that's pretty impressive.
And then this one too, where I think they gave the same image, but then had it like, hey, just generate a complete character profile.
Okay, like a passport photo from this random
but like
photo.
The person and the consistency looks accurate.
That's impressive.
So very similar to kind of Flux Context or ChatGPT image. This really impressive world understanding and just simple text prompting to modify images.
To me, it feels like it's so much more than just having a larger sample set and like more billions of parameters. It's beyond that. It's starting to take on like a level of intelligence.
Yeah, and just understanding. I forgot the specific name, but I was digging into because I was like, I've talked about how ChatGPT image is like so good at just modifications for specific things. And it does a special, because when it generates, you can see it generate like blocks, like an old school matrix printing thing, a printer matrix.
It's doing a line scan line. And
it was a different method. It was like pixel diffusion, or it was a different diffusion method than the diffusion method we've talked about that most image generators use, where it kind of takes the whole image and then diffuses it. It was a different method, and I wonder if this is adapting that as well.
Interesting. So that would be a whole new architecture under the hood.
Yeah. I also wanted to point out, because I was looking up trying to find out more info about Nano Banana, and it's just to show how crazy fast things are moving in AI and just more of the like vibe website and just opportunist market. I can't look at the exact date, but someone bought nanobanana.ai and then spun up this website called Nano Banana that is like, oh, hey, you could use our AI image editor. And I think it's just running on a Flux Context API. But the fact that they're like saw Nano Banana trending, spun up this whole website with like all these features and all these things, which are most likely vibe coded in literally less than a day, is crazy.
The power of AI to exploit AI. Yeah. I love it. And also like the color scheme, and it looks like the logo. Yeah, it's on point. Yeah. Google should just hire this guy.
Who knows,
or girl.
Who knows how to vibe code.
Yeah.
All right. Other updates. So kind of a group full of updates. We talked about Genie 3 last week, and that was sort of the big...
That was huge.
That was impressive to watch. Yeah. I feel like now it is Revenge of the World models, where there was a new slew of other companies being like, hey, we got stuff too. So this first one is Yan from Tencent, and it is it's a world model. They're calling it foundational interactive video generation, And the interesting thing, I mean, it does a lot of similar things to Genie 3. You can generate from a text or an image prompt and start having this world that you can navigate. It is persistent. It remembers, things that it generates. And if you move back to that thing, it remembers that it's still there. But it's composed of 3 separate models. Also, this one, it says it could run at 1080p at 60 frames per second.
For games.
Which is cool for games. I think Genie was 24 frames per second.
Right.
But the interesting thing about this is it comprises of 3 core modules: Yan Sim, Yan Gen, and Yan Edit. So Yan Sim enables high quality simulation of interactive video environments. Gen uses text and image prompts to generate the video, but then Edit supports multi-granularity real-time editing of the interactive video. So you could be in the world and edit it, which also reminded me, going back to Crystal Ball, of that demo of generating the world and speaking to it and modifying it in real time.
Yes.
This is like the first actual practical implementation.
Did they beat Crystal Ball to it?
I mean, if this is out yet, I don't know if it's a research paper.
Is that accurate to say?
It's Addy way of saying, come on to the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, you could come on the podcast and we could talk about it.
So with the editing, they have some demos of doing a whole style transfer. You're in the world and they just change the complete style of it.
Yeah.
Or structure editing. So like a character's moving and then you generate a wall in the world. So yeah, the editing thing, I think this is like the big...
That was the promise of Gaussian Splats. You remember a few years back, it's like, no, we have editing capabilities coming to Gaussian Splats.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, so
what was that?
Like a lot of the Gaussian Splat startups were working on the way to get in. While you're in the Gaussian Splat, you can delete this building or you can, but I guess it never really fruitioned. A really interesting thing here that I'm noticing, if you look at the headlines, it says AAA level simulation, obviously super targeted at games.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to what I was saying during the Genie 3 coverage. Everybody's coming after the Unreal Unity space. It's like, move over real-time renderer, here comes AI renderer, right? It's essentially, it's going to be, and I think it's going to be like that scene in Indiana Jones where he puts the treasure in the sandbag, like just does a swap. That's what it's going to be. Like the consumer's not even going to notice that this game is generated in AI. It's just going to be.
Well, you're talking about, I mean, because there's 2 elements there. There's talking about like the world creation of like mapping it out and planning it and like the experience, and then the rendering.
Yeah.
And that the AI rendering part, that's DLSS. Like that's part of that where it with that he.
Yeah, DLSS is not able to fully generate. It's just able to make something better.
Right, but that's like it's using AI to speed up the quality of the rendering.
Yeah. Right.
But it's like that's based off you have an existing world, you built something, and then you just want to look better on hardware and faster.
Right.
This thing, so the generating the world part, that's where I guess, I mean, this, I feel like from a game developer, this ties in the same question of like the filmmaking space, where it's like, okay, well, is it going to be a new game generated every time for the user?
Right.
Is it more like a prototyping method or like a initial world creation method, and then you're saving that and storing that elsewhere? Yeah, I'm curious. Like, I mean, I don't know as much about game development.
Again, we haven't taken any of this for a spin. Sorry, folks. But my guess is like the guys that are developing this know that this is for AAA. So of course, persistent world generation is not at the top of the list.
Yeah, this like speeds up generating a massive map.
What's really interesting is that on the AAA level simulation headline, they're using something called 3D variational autoencoder.
Okay, what is that?
So remember the VAE block in Comfy UI? Yeah. This is a 3D version of it. So it's essentially going from a latent space. So the world is being generated in latent space. And now the VAE is not outputting a 2D thing. It's outputting a 3D thing. So I think that piece alone is magic, because now you can attach that to other open models, like let's say Genie 3's latent space out to a 3D variational autoencoder, out to a 3D object. The problem with Gaussian Splats was that you're still in a Gaussian Splat world. It wasn't really meshing with a 3D world. Like it was just fundamentally a different type of asset, right? But here it feels like you're outputting something that could blend right back into Unreal or Unity or Maya.
Right. Yeah. As long as you get that mesh, it's something that you could keep use in a persistent space.
Yeah, I wonder where like inworld.ai is. They were a startup that was very early into the game to do exactly this, AAA gaming with AI. And I feel like if I haven't heard from them, if we're not covering them on our Fridays, then they're kind of behind on all of this stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I think of like prime example is GTA 6, which has taken forever to develop. And
yes.
like, it's like, well, what if you could speed up making the map? Even something like GTA, where it's like sort of based on real world maps. You'd take the Google map data and speed up the foundational level of building out these worlds.
And you can take something like CCM, right? Which is, so CCM ties into Google Maps and builds a 3D representation of the planet.
Okay.
So then if you have like a latitude, longitude coordinate of your game, like you could be on this exact street in Google Maps and it's a 3D representation. This house and everything is accurate. So it's like a digital twin of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. If anyone else is more of in the game development world, I would love to know what you think about this. Cause like, I'm curious how this, not knowing as much about like AAA game development, how this would fit in.
Yeah, I bet the AAA game folks are rolling their eyes right now. Nothing's going to change.
Same thing with like when we see the RIP Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was like, this is not gonna make it.
I made a Oscar-nominated short film for $200.
And then other one from Skywork is Matrix Game 2.0. And this is another world model.
Wow!
But they're saying, well, they said this is the first open source, real time, long sequence, interactive world model.
Long sequence meaning it's just like a longer video. Maybe.
That it well, we had that the limit with the Genie 3 where it could, because it is how much memory it can save to keep the world persistent. So Genie 3 could only run for a few minutes. This one doesn't give us exact number, but it says minutes of continuous video. It's running at 25 frames per second.
Yeah.
Interactive, move, rotate, explore.
Yeah.
So another world model, but this one's open source.
Yeah, I think these are great steps into this world. And over like the next year or two, we're going to forget about these early steps and just wonder over the achievements that we have made in this stride.
Think of like this. I mean, think of how far, image generation has come over a year or two. And this is like this is like the DALL-E 2 of image generation. These world models.
Do you even remember 5.25 inch floppy disks? You don't. Well, because the 3.5s took over and that became the standard, but that was the gateway into that floppy disk world. In the same way, like these beginning steps, we're not even going to really remember.
The 5.2 were actually floppy. The plastic ones were not floppy.
Oh, you mean like floppy?
They were literally floppy. You could bend them. They were floppy.
Yeah. Okay.
What was the? What was 700 kilobytes, 800 kilobytes
per disk?
The black ones. The plastic ones were 1.25 megabytes.
Yes,
I think. But the black ones.
Yeah,
they were like.
I don't think you're getting megs, dude.
No, it was kilobytes. It was like 600 kilobytes or 700 kilobytes.
It was enough to put Doom on one disk.
You could?
Yeah.
I remember I had this tool where I wanted to back up a file or something, and it would split up the zips into 1 megabyte chunks. So I could it was like, put it in your first disk. And it's like, okay, put up your second disk. I'm like, okay.
All right. We could talk about this forever. I'll do one thing for you. AOL used to send out those free disks, and then you just reformat it and then just have another extra disk.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
I just use them as coasters. They had a cool Lord of the Rings promo one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when the movies came out.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, enough nostalgia. And then there's actually another world model update, but this one's not new. We've talked about this, I think, like a month or two ago.
How do you pronounce it, Joey?
Gosh, I don't know why my American brain keeps not messing up Hunyan.
No.
Hunyan.
Yes.
Hunyan.
I need to see you order at a Chinese restaurant.
Hunyan's GameCraft, which we covered like a month or so ago and was a similar-ish world model. I don't think it was as persistent memory. Maybe it was. Anyways, they open sourced it. So not new in the sense that this has existed, but now it's open source. You can go mess around with it.
Yeah, the Chinese manufacturers, Tencent, Alibaba, these guys are
just
quick to
they just
crank and then release, release. You think there is like some bigger thing at play here?
Like, I don't know if it's just like the way to compete with US models or companies is like, well, we'll make something similar, but just push it out there. So like, maybe more people will adopt it because it's free. And then,
like, what is their strategy? Like, I don't know. Obviously, they're not making money from any of this, and this costs millions and millions of dollars to make.
I mean, something like Tencent, this stuff's getting rolled into TikTok or will be.
You mean SeedDance, ByteDance?
Those other models. Yeah. Alibaba, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, maybe I don't know the Chinese market enough to just know what their media landscape is, but it feels like to us, we're just getting stuff for free here.
Yeah.
Like a nonstop
I just don't know if it's just a free to adopt play to like get everyone using it. And then, I don't know, they charge later. That would make sense. But I don't know.
Okay.
I am curious.
Yeah. And from some of the AI researchers that I've talked to, like they're all impressed by Chinese models. Like everything Tencent drops, even on the image video generation side, is solid.
Look, I talked about it a few weeks ago, like
Wan 2.2?
Wan 2.2, which is, completely run locally. That one is like the top comfy, run locally on your computer video model. Yeah. C-Dance is great. I've used that for a bunch of stuff. And I think it's getting more and more, like, people are picking up on that one as being like, oh, it's like actually like a really good, decently priced video generation model that can handle a lot of different things.
Yeah, I think Caleb at Curious Refuge dropped that video where he compares Seed-Dance to VO3.
Okay.
Supposedly that's better in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it depends on the thing. I mean, look, I think VO3 is still sort of king in one-shot generation because it's the only one, I think, now that could still generate audio with the video. Yeah. So if you're just like trying to make rough...
If you're trying to make people, maybe there's no better tool because of the lip sync situation.
Yeah, and everything for like a one shot, don't have to mess around with it too much afterwards. Right. VO3 is probably still king at that. But C-Dance for like giving it different inputs and getting outputs and also not spending $3 a generation. Yeah. Really good.
Okay.
Other one, multi-one. Yes. Okay. FantasyPortrait. So this one's interesting. This is from Alibaba. I believe it's open source. But this is character animation, but with multiple people. So that's sort of been a limitation with a lot of, like Runway Act 2 or Hydra or a lot of the character animator tools where if you give it some driving audio and like a still image and you want it to, have the image start speaking the audio, it's usually limited to... HeyGen. Yeah, or HeyGen. It's usually limited to like only one person in frame at a time. If you wanted to do two, you'd have to kind of run them separate and composite it using traditional methods later. FantasyPortrait says that it can do multiple character portrait animations. So this...
Yeah, it looks like it's at a research paper level and they have provided GitHub code. So all somebody has to do is grab this, turn it into a product.
Yeah, you can run and test it. Yeah, so I got some videos of like the driving performance with a video with multiple people and then the image with multiple people, and they're respectively getting the correct performance. Even this one with the presidential debate, the split screen from the debate.
Oh, that's great. They do have a sense of humor, those researchers.
And then it works in different styles. I'm going to try this one out because we're working on some speech to text projects. Yeah, so I mean, cool to see development in here because I feel like character animation and driving works on animals too. Talking dog, talking pug.
Yeah, I mean, this is all in like the deep fake territory, right? Like the big fear with AI, I remember a couple of years ago, is like, what if somebody just makes a video of some politician saying something horrible and that starts World War III?
Yeah.
Like, I think we know now that we could sense AI versus not in a lot of these situations.
For now.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's like that meme when it's like, oh, I'm seeing less AI generated images on the internet. Like, and then it realizes like, oh, it's because you can't tell the difference.
I guess AI went away.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we've talked about before, where it's like we're going to have the camera manufacturers for like the news gathering source is going to have some sort of verification in the files or something to verify legitimacy of.
Sam Altman had an interesting take. Sam Altman was interviewed by Cleo Abrams. I think I covered this on the last podcast. Yeah, so Cleo had asked like, what is going to happen when we can't differentiate from AI anymore? And his answer, more or less, paraphrasing here, is like, we're just going to have to live with it.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his argument was really on shaky ground. He said something to the effect of like, the iPhone is lying to you because when you take a picture, the iPhone is doing so much processing, and then by the time you see it, it's not really reality anymore. Image. Yeah. In the same way you're accepting that is reality, you're going to have to accept some of the AI stuff as reality. Yeah, I don't know. It is again, he's out there, dude.
I mean, he's got the whole WorldCoin thing and the UBI stuff and Okay, SIGGRAPH. So SIGGRAPH happened this week. The big...
I believe it's still happening.
I think it just... No, you're correct, because one of these papers is presenting today.
I've been getting pictures at midnight from parties.
Sorry.
People that I know are there. They're having drinks. They're like, hey, wish you were here. I was like, thanks.
Yeah, so it's big. The graph. What's the official title of it? It's a computer graphics.
Yeah, it is probably the most respected and oldest running conference of nerds of computer vision researchers. Traditionally, it was computer vision and machine learning, and now then in the middle there was a big rendering focus, computer graphics focus, and now it seems like it's a lot of AI pivot.
Yeah, but focused on like the scientific and research part.
It's all the white papers. Yeah. The
computer
general
graphics, image generation, AI image generation.
Yes.
Yeah, like very nerdy science part.
Like SIGGRAPH moves media and entertainment forward every year. So when those papers drop, it takes a few months for those papers to turn into products, and those products move the world. I mean, you have people like Disney Research, who's like a big arm of Disney in Zurich. They drop their annual papers there. You have people like NVIDIA. They also do the same.
Yeah. So there are a couple, I didn't see a ton coming out of it, like, oh, it's super new, interesting things. We got a few things, but there was a opening talk from Ed Catmull, co-founder of Pixar, and someone asked him about AI, and paraphrased the answer, AI will create lots of good things and lots of bad things. We don't know where it will go, but it's not going away. So artists need to engage with the technology.
Don't we say that on Denoised?
Something
I feel like we kind of say that
a lot of the time. Yeah. But wanted to recount that. But yeah, the two things that I saw coming out of it that were interesting, actually three things. One, in NVIDIA's opening note, they talked about Cosmos, which is their new world model.
Yeah, they've had it for a while.
Yeah, I think it was an update. But this one definitely seemed geared more towards automation, infrastructure, autonomous vehicles.
Autonomous vehicles, physical AI with robots. That's really what it's built for.
Yeah. The other one was GAIA, and this just popped up on my radar.
Yeah, GAIA is pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, and I think they're literally giving their talk right now as we're recording this. So maybe we'll have more info or the video next week. But it is a generative, animatable, interactive avatars.
Very
with expression conditioned Gaussians. Basically, it is a human-looking person that's generated with Gaussian splats and a bunch of sliders, and you can adjust them and manipulate the look of the person, but it's all generated with Gaussian splats, which is
and I think we're going to be looking at the video as we're talking about it. So you could see that the quality there is pretty impressive, and as this woman is adjusting her expression, she's also shifting in parallax and perspective, and it's all holding up pretty decently.
What did you say this reminded you of? A music video?
The Michael Jackson video. Yeah. Black or White, was it?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I don't even remember the name of the song. I know the video, but I forgot the name.
People have done a lot of recreations of that video with AI recently. It just always harkens me back to like, how did they actually do it in the 80s?
Yeah.
They didn't have AI back then.
Was it an early version of computer morphing?
I believe so.
Yeah. But it looked great.
Yeah. I'm going to say it was by PDI, who did the Terminator T-1000 liquid going through the prison grate. Like that was a very early version of Digital Human.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here, my prediction is that this is potentially going to change the way we do video conferencing and remote work.
Okay. How do you see that?
Because if you look at the Google Beam product, which is their really fancy conference system, previously called Project Starline, it's essentially two spaces that are connected by the internet. And the reason it makes it so immersive is the other person is, I think, potentially represented by Gaussian Splat. So the Google Beam system has multiple cameras, so it's almost like a volumetric capture of you, and then it's somehow compressing it, sending it over the network. And on the other side, you're being recreated with Gaussian splats. So if you shift your head around a little bit like that, you would actually see like the left side of that other person's face, right side of that person's face. So if NVIDIA pulls this off and releases this as a technology other people can adapt, let's say somebody like Zoom, then I think we could see potentially a real big level up in video conferencing.
You think any M&E applications, like is it like a Gaussian splat work, or what are the limitations of like doing, like actual visual effects with that?
Very little. To be honest, digital humans are the most usable when they're rigged, when they're skinned, and it's some of the Houdini stuff we talked about.
Right.
You put muscle sims on.
Or metahumans.
Metahumans, yeah. And I think that's where you get repeatability and high level of control. So I don't see this stuff really useful for primary character work. However, I think for crowd work, like background characters, stuff like that.
Or something where it's like you need something more lighter weight, real time. So like that streaming stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe the like real time live stream avatars to use.
Yeah. Or metaverse applications.
Yeah.
You know, remember when Mark Zuckerberg was interviewed by Lex Friedman, and they were in the metaverse, and like their torso and their face was represented by Gaussian Splats or some form of volumetric.
However Meta's doing it. Yeah. Similar with like the Vision Pro, how it scans you to represent you on voice calls and stuff.
So both of those technologies, although they were impressive at the time, they weren't quite you know, lifelike. And I think this is a step forward in quality. So imagine this in the metaverse.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the demo, the details is great. All right. And then one other thing I saw out of SIGGRAPH is from Meta, speaking of Meta, and it is a prototype next-gen version of their glasses, the display glasses, the headsets, called Tiramisu, hyperrealistic VR. So high contrast, roughly 3 times the contrast of Meta Quest 3, with a wider angle of view and brighter.
Those are all good things.
Yes. And so some of the demos I saw on X, people trying it out were saying like, this thing's like, you know, excellent, wild.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a prototype because you look at the image right now, it is like,
oh, wow.
It looks like the cartoon with the coyote shooting its eyeballs out. Like it sticks out a lot. Yeah. So it does currently look like this. So it's a prototype. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, wild to see, you know, where this technology is going.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they put the Retina thing on there. So do you know what Retina is? Like what Apple uses as Retina is actually not Retina.
I mean, I know it's just a higher pixel density, right? Like,
yeah. So in optical science or color science, when a display is quote unquote Retina, that means you can't tell the pixels apart.
Right, like
visually it's as lifelike as what you and I perceive the real world. So if there is a display this close to your face, obviously you need far more pixels than a movie theater, which is like hundreds of feet away. So for them to achieve Retina on a headset, I mean, you're talking 8K plus, perhaps 16K in resolution.
Do you know if that's more dense than the Apple Vision Pro? I don't know how
Apple Vision Pro, I don't think is Retina.
Oh, you don't think? Okay.
Yeah, they may use that term for marketing, but in the sort of truest sense of that word, it hasn't.
For the truest sense of the word, is it a combo of the pixel density, but also the like display distance?
Yeah, both.
Because like
it's an equation,
right? It's not like a set number because it depends how far away you would normally be looking at the display.
Yeah. So here they're saying 60 pixels per degree. So you can imagine 1 degree of your eye at that close resolution is not that much real estate, right? So you're looking at like maybe a fraction of a millimeter, and within that millimeter, you need to have 60 pixels. So you're talking about an extremely pixel-rich environment. Yeah,
I know there's some other headsets that were like flatter too, but I don't know the specifics of them. I'm trying to scan, but they're called Boba 1 or Boba 3, but it's basically more of a flatter version of the headset.
Yeah. I mean, nobody knows that the biggest barrier to headsets is the fact that you have to wear headsets more than Meta.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like the Boba has the same style as the Sony adapted with their professional headsets, where it's sort of like a flip up, flip down. Somewhere in a professional environment, if you're like going back and forth, you could just keep it on your head and just flip the screen up.
Right.
Which, you
look cool for a hot second.
I mean, it works if you're in like an industrial environment and you're like, I need to like look at something or, you know, and flip it up and down.
It's like a welder's glass.
Exactly. Kind of and the coolness factor isn't as big of a deal.
Just don't do it on a plane. We talked about this. Don't be a glass hole.
But yeah, did we talk about how like for some reason that guy like had no reason to be putting his arms like everywhere? You could just like sit there and probably pinch and operate.
I didn't know you could do that, but yeah, he was grabbing stuff. You know, his hands in the aisle. We were all trying to get in the plane. Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
SkyReels.
So yeah, SkyReels popped up. This is similar, another audio to character animation. At first, when I watched their demo reel, I was like, I don't know, it doesn't look that good. But then I saw some of their other tests and examples, and some of it did look the human performance on top of an image looked pretty good. I think the company is SkyReels. It's another AI company. I haven't used them. I don't know. Have you used them?
No.
Yeah. So I mean, I might give it a shot because, like I mentioned before, working on a project with some audio to character animation. But yeah, just want to put it on people's radar because it looks like, I mean, like all these things, it probably works well with some stuff, not so well with other stuff.
Yeah, challenges with video generation is length. The longer you go, the more you start to hallucinate, the more memory you use, and there's all types of problems.
Yeah, this one did say, I think, that it can run on longer videos. Oh, actually, this reminds me, I forgot to save it, but one other update this week that within the character realm is Pika. So Pika also rolled out a new update. I think it's just coming to their app, though. I think
we haven't talked about Pika in a while.
No, we haven't talked about it since when we had the little octopus run around the table.
Yeah.
It's their own version of a character animator where you could give it audio or performance video, sort of like their own Runway Act 2 kind of feature.
Right.
But it sounded like it was just rolling out on their app. Like, I think they're focusing more on
mobile,
the social space and mobile and creator space than the desktop space.
Yeah, they're probably looking at the user data, and maybe most of the generation is happening on a mobile.
Yeah, and I mean, that's probably just talking to other people about this stuff. It's like a bigger addressable market for
sure
these companies to sell $10 subscriptions than M&E space where they're going to still pay the same subscription but demand more.
When I think desktop, I think you and me, like people that are trying to do professional work versus mobile, everybody.
Right. Yeah. Or the generation that grew up native on like CapCut or stuff for video editing, video creation.
What's Premiere?
Oh, you mean Adobe Rush that I never use? I use CapCut. So Fal, who I think I've talked about them before. I'm a fan of Fal. Yeah, they basically pretty quickly between Fal and Replicate, they'll take all of the AI models, put it on their own servers, and then you can just quickly call them up with an API and you just pay per the usage. So if you don't have a powerful computer or some of these models, like you can't run them on a computer anyways, they're like a good one-stop shop. You get like one API key, one central billing, and you could like run and use
relatively cheap too
AI model. Yeah, they're usually either just give you the rate that the API from the company is charging, or if they're hosting it on their servers, it's like a pretty reasonable compute rate.
Yeah.
I'll talk about this in the future, but one of my pet projects has been trying to bring in Fal APIs into Comfy UI so that you could use.
That's a good one.
You can call them up.
Yeah. So you're doing everything on the cloud, so you can build still have a workflow.
Exactly. You build your workflow in Comfy, but call up Fal APIs because there are some nodes that already exist, but they haven't been updated. And so Fal updates stuff all the time. And I was like, I just want a way to bring in my own APIs. So that's a pet project I'm working on. I'll talk about it later. But Fal did just release a big update to their own Canvas-based editor.
Much needed.
Yeah, so this looks cool. It's called Workflows 2.0, and it is basically, you can drag and drop all of the Fal nodes and APIs and build out your own workflow and then just run it in Fal.
So they completely stomped on your work.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I still think there's advantages to Comfy because the files saved to your computer. And so if you're doing a bunch of batch stuff, you can just have them all saved locally. But this also looks like a great solution. And I don't think there's any additional cost. I think you're just paying for whatever
for the generation
APIs you're running. But it's just a really nice workflow. And
now they're getting into the Invoke, LTX, Flora territory.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where it's like a very Comfy-esque UI without the technical barrier of Comfy, if that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. There's the canvasy click and drag thing. Yeah. It's just nice that they have this built in. So you could an easier way to use their API models without being a programmer.
I mean, we talked about this when we did our Comfy UI episode. It's like, I don't understand why Comfy doesn't do this. As a cloud service or as a generation service.
What do you mean?
Well, like they can easily build a Comfy on the cloud that connects to a bunch of GPUs.
Oh, why they don't hope, right? Because there are third parties that have Comfy as a service on the cloud.
Right.
Why Comfy doesn't do it? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Comfy has the API nodes.
They're the most ready for it than anybody else because they're the universal standard in the world of AI development.
Yeah, they've sort of been around the longest.
They've cornered that market.
Established. Yeah, I don't know why they don't have their own cloud hosting service.
Yeah. I would imagine like services like Fall, Invoke, or anybody in this competitive space, I wonder if they take the JSON files that the Comfy workflow is in and then start to build that in their own environment.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I mean, do you even need that though? Because I mean, most of these APIs are pretty self-contained. It's not like how Comfy works with the local model with the clip and the VAE and like they're all kind of.
You don't see the clip or the VAE here, right?
Yeah, when they call up the API, the API just already does it.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool tool if you mess around with it. I know we turned someone on to not Invoke. What's the other one? That's not Flora, not Invoke.
There's
the other flow chart.
Yes, there.
Canvas tool.
Yeah, actually the one that we're thinking of is, I think, the most powerful one because it's layer based and node based.
Yeah, with the canvas-based tool. So I think it was Invoke. Someone reached out and said that like we actually turned them on to Invoke, and that they've been able to build out a bunch of like cool concept commercial videos using these all-in-one platforms.
Invoke seems powerful and purpose-built for our industry versus like for social media content or anything like that.
Yeah. To give you a lot more control and like a one-stop shop for building out these flows, and especially if a node-based workflow kind of works better with how your brain operates.
And also Invoke has layer-based stuff on top of the node-based stuff.
So like layers, like you could layer the images,
you can have masks and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, regional in painting stuff.
Oh, and then run different
functions on
nodes to like that specific section.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. All right, other update. Actually, this did sort of come out of SIGGRAPH, but oh no, I just realized on this press release thing it says SIGGRAPH 2024, and I'm like, is this the right? This is
Not this year.
But no, this article did come out this year. Basically, Autodesk has released a free version of Flow Studio. So Flow Studio was Wonder Dynamics Studio that they acquired. They rebranded it to Flow Studio. Wonder Dynamics is a great tool where you could give it a video, and then it could automatically map and replace and rig the video to a actual character, and then you bring that into your software, professional 3D software, and use that as like a first pass to start animating. I
could be wrong here, but I don't think Wonder Dynamics or Flow integrates very well with Maya. From what I heard, since the acquisition, Wonder Dynamics is still not super well integrated into other Autodesk products like Motion Builder Maya.
Okay, I think
3ds Max.
You would run it in like it's as a separate product and then export your Maya
and then import. I don't think there's a direct path, which is a shame because Autodesk is certainly a company that's capable of doing something that's really well executed, elegant, and available for M&E.
Yeah, so they have a new free tier. Actually, I'm looking at this pricing tier because I haven't checked it out since I used Wonder Dynamics last year, and it was Wonder Dynamics was like either you could try it or it was $100 a month. There was no in between.
Yeah,
which is kind of pricey. So it does that. They do have a bunch more tiers. The Pro tier is $95 a month. Sure. But now they have a free tier where you can run it. You get 300 monthly credits. I forgot, each generation is like whatever, a handful of credits and some like duration caps, but no, it is watermarked. So you're actually going to say, it's not watermarked. It is watermarked, but you can mess around with it. You can export stuff.
Yeah.
You can export to other scenes in the free tier. I'm guessing if it gives you the files aren't going to be watermarked.
Yeah, I'm also guessing that this will help drive adoption. My guess is they're having a hard time with recurring usage and daily active users. So this is something that a freemium model, if you will.
Yeah, it's a good way to be able to mess around and try it. And they have two other plans in between the Pro $100 a month plan. They have a $10 light plan and a $45 standard plan. So it's good too that they have more in between options to get more usage.
It also goes to show that no matter how brilliant your AI technology is, end of the day, it's still a business, and a business has to generate revenue, offset, margins and all that stuff.
You need money to keep developing and to run this stuff.
So because Wonder Dynamics was one of the early ones, right? You remember they got acquired almost 2 years ago now.
Was it 2 years?
Yeah. I'm going to say, it was pretty early on. And so their life cycle is actually much further ahead than Runway or Luma's. And they've actually gotten acquired by a big company versus Runway or Luma. And you could see the interesting sort of curve where how an AI company matures. And now they're at a maturity point where they need to generate real revenue.
Yeah.
And so that's where they're
the
at.
company, Autodesk bottom.
Yes.
It's like, well, now we acquired you.
We need the ROI.
Yeah, we need this acquisition to make money.
Yep.
All right, another quick one. Gemini is now also rolling out memory. I think we talked about Claude added memory last week. Memory is one of the best functions. Like that's the main reason I go back to ChatGPT is because it remembers stuff.
Yeah.
But now Claude remembers stuff, and now Gemini remembers stuff. So that makes these way more useful.
You think they're using floppy disks?
There's someone just in the back.
Just like, we need more.
Swapping the disk out. Yeah, that's how it remembers.
Sorry about that joke, folks.
All right, the last one. This one's a fun one. A colorist sort of vibe coded. I don't know if they actually vibe coded, but I'm going to assume they vibe coded. Tobias Montanari Luhi. Sorry if I said
Shout out to Tobias.
He built a color grading game, and it's called Match the Grade. And basically it shows you an image of like some shapes and colors in one side, and then you have a couple sliders and you're trying to match
source and target
to match the grade, and then you check it and you try to, and it gives you a score based on how well you matched it.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we all could use more color exercise to sharpen our eyes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And just even to learn or start about this.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's just a really fun example use to this is the best score I've ever gotten.
Should we make an episode? 95 is great.
It was literally just like the image was way brighter. I messed around with this before for like, it has a 60-second time limit, and I messed around with it before, and I was getting like 60, 70. And now
I'm going to beat you,
doing this on the show, I get 95. This was a very easy image to do. So yeah, anyway, shout out to Tobias. It was a fun game and a really good use of, just, I'm assuming vibe coded, but of building something fun and practical.
We should do a episode of you and me playing this competitively for an hour. It's the most boring episode ever.
We should live stream on Twitch.
Shout and comment if you want to see that.
Yeah, let us know, because I'm thinking no, but if you're into it, we'll do it.
We'll do it if you guys want us to. Yeah.
All right, that's pretty much a wrap up for this episode. Links for everything we talked about, as usual, at denoisedpodcast.com.
Thank you for your support on YouTube. Hope you got to see Freepik episode with CEO Joaquin.
Yeah, check out the interview.
Give that one a watch.
Yeah. All right, thanks, everyone. We'll catch you next week.